Excited to get our first win under our belt last week against a good football team in Ohio. Again, I'll give Frank Solich again credit. Really well coached, detailed, tough, and besides them being a good football team, I think they're going to always come in and play, their best. I mean, one of their best games of the year because they're playing up for who they're playing against. I mean, they get to come into Heinz Field, and so I think that's also something we look at. But I certainly think we made improvement from week 1 to week 2. What's the percentage of improvement? I think pretty good. We did a lot of things better. There's some things we did worse, which maybe there's a lack of focus, whatever it may be. But I still believe we can make, some pretty darn good improvement from week 2 to week 3, and we have to. Still things you're disappointed in. Those five illegal procedures. It's 25 yards. Okay, they're drive killers. I don't know what you look at the national stat, but anytime there's a penalty in an offensive series or defensive series for that matter, it leads to, bad offense or bad defense. It leads to a score, field goal or touchdown, and the same thing goes offensively. Anytime there's a penalty, whether it's a holding, clipping, whatever it may be, or legal procedure, delay a game, there's a good chance you're punting and not scoring on those series. So those are things that, and I told you after the game, I remember, complimenting the offense, like, we do some hard cadence, and we work the cadence pretty good on offense where our guys don't even move. So I don't know what was going on out there, but I'm sure we got them all out of our system. We got 5 for the year. I don't expect to see another one. In a year ago we had a few too many delay games. It's one of those things we haven't hit. Knock on wood. We haven't had any of those. A couple muffed punts. We'll fix that. I mean, we got to turn our ringers off. I mean, golly. We got ringers going off in meetings, but muff punts. We miss a field goal, plant foot issue. So there's a lot of things we can clean up, and it's week 3, and it's time to clean those up. But obviously a big game this week. We're looking forward to heading out to Happy Valley and playing a very good football team, explosive football team. They're very talented up front with their front 7. On defense, they create havoc in the backfield. Obviously, Sean Clifford is a baller, just another quarterback that they've developed in their system and knows what he's doing. He's got a nice arm throwing the ball all over the place. I mean, the Hamler kid, again, I remember him. I remember sitting in the tower, Michigan State, watching that guy run around as a sophomore going, holy cow, that guy's a football player. He's impressive. We'll have to know where he is all the time. They move him around quite a bit. So they're explosive on offense. They're explosive on defense. Obviously very talented, and we'll have our hands full on Saturday afternoon. Saturday at noon. And then, as always, I appreciate you guys. I love the media. I love you guys. You guys know that I'll do anything for you. But so it's nothing against you. You guys know that. I sure hope you know that. If you don't know that by now, then we got issues. But it's just I want to keep things tight this week again. Just kind of what we do when there's a big opportunity. And if you got questions for me, I told EJ I'll talk on Tuesday, I'll talk on Wednesday, I'll talk every day if you want to talk. But if you got questions, ask EJ. And, I'd certainly like to answer it. To give you guys content. But I just want to keep it tight with our kids and let them focus on what they need to focus on. So we'll all be happy in this room when there's a lot of focus at noon on Saturday. That's what I want. So questions.
Pat, is that game on Saturday sort of the blueprint for talk about developing a personality for this season? I mean, you didn't turn it over. Defense makes stops.
I thought you were going ahead. You're back. Was it a blueprint? I mean, we don't ever want to turn it over. So yeah, it's a blueprint turnover-wise. It's a bad blueprint, illegal procedure-wise. So I think every game there's things you pull and say, I like that. I like that. Ooh, I don't like that. And I don't like that. Throw that out. So every week there's stuff you like and don't like, but blueprint. Don't turn the ball over, okay? And, but that's our blueprint every week is like, protect the ball. And, I talk every week about just our keys to victory as a football team, not just offensively. Defense has their goals, offense has their goals, but what do we have to do to win that game? And we had an opportunity to get some turnovers, which were disappointing. Another, that's the things, don't like that. We got a chance for a pick 6 that we don't get. So, those things will come, but we don't want to turn the ball over at all, ever. And Kenny was smart with the ball, and the receivers did a good job of giving him looks.
Missed a couple of kicks. Is everything going okay with the snap and the hold and everything, or is it just a matter of him missing it?
You know, I think it's a matter of missing it. I mean, I think sometimes we think those 50-yarders are easy. You know, it's like, you know, like what are we doing here? It's a 50-yard field goal. Maybe we should just go for it or punt it. And, you know, last week I just said, hey, we're going to, you know, and again, we got 2 great series defensively. Let them go 90 if they can go 90 or 94 yards, whatever they got to go. You know, so we'll mix that up. But, you know, just a plant foot issue, you know, like I said, it's something every week, but let's hope it's 0 this week. That's why we practice. That's why we coach. You know, I always said if it was easy, they would, you know, coaches, we wouldn't need coaches. We just, you know, I'll be at the swimming pool right now, hanging out, you know, having a hot dog.
How important
Sounds good, doesn't it, Billy?
How important is Saturday's game, being that it's the last scheduled matchup between the 2 schools, and do you think this game should be played every year?
I'll start with the second part of that question and say, yeah, of course I do, but it doesn't matter what I think. Nobody cares what I think. You know, I think, you know, everybody in the state of Pennsylvania, you know, that's not sitting in a football office somewhere in this state would say, hey, why don't we play this game? So I think I've answered that question in the past. Of course, we all want to play this game. Nobody, you know, it's a close game. You know, we're going to jump on a bus on Friday. It's close enough to get on a bus. We don't have to go wait at an airport. We don't have to go through customs. We don't have to do anything. We don't have to empty our pockets. We jump on a bus and we go. You know, so we certainly want to play that game, but you know, it doesn't matter, and it's a big game. I mean, it's another game for us, but it's a big game because it's a rivalry game in state, and you know, again, you know, I'm going to emphasize with our kids, you might be the last team to ever get to play this game. I mean, it might be. I don't know if it'll ever be played. I'm either going to be in a coffin or retired, probably. So I don't know which one it'll be, Jerry. I don't know if you have any idea. You got any?
I'll beat you to it, Coach.
Okay. No, you won't. No, you won't. Just keep getting your workout in.
With no game against Penn State scheduled for the foreseeable future, how much of a desire is there as a coach for you guys to have, I guess, more of a traditional rival on the schedule every year, like, you know, beyond the 4-game series coming up? I mean, how much of a priority?
Yeah, I think Syracuse is always. Yeah, I mean, well, West Virginia's coming back, as you know, and then you know, Syracuse is our rival. I mean, that's an old Big East rival, as we know. It's been a terrific game every year. It's a talented football team, and we're talking about it's Penn State week, but you know, we have rivalry games. We'll make one. You know, we'll make one if we have to. Shoot, we made one back in the day when I was in Cincinnati. The River City rivalry, wasn't that what it was called? Does anybody remember that? Something like the River City rivalry. So we just make one up. We'll get a trophy. We'll put a picture of Jerry on the trophy, and we'll go play.
And the 3.
Is this an injury question?
No, not yet. In the 3 run-ups to this game the past 3 years, have you noticed your team practicing and preparing in any different way than they prepare for any other game?
I hope a little bit. You know, just because we try to, you know, is it good, bad? Are we good enough to do that? I don't know. But it's hard for me to look back and look. I mean, you guys want me to look back sometimes during a game and say, hey, this 3rd down or 4th down, what'd you do here? You know, I think our guys are pretty focused this week. I really do. And, you know, you go back and watch last year's game. I mean, at halftime, it's a shame what the score is at halftime because we played pretty good. You know, you have a couple. It only takes one of these and something, you know, something happened to blow things up a little bit. So, you know.
How's Penn State different this year than you've seen in the past?
Obviously, you know, it's the same football team. Penn State's the same football team. It's just different guys wearing different numbers. Maybe they're bigger, maybe they're faster. I don't know. We'll find out Saturday at noon. But you know, to me, it's a culture they've built over there, offensively and defensively, what they do, and special teams. They got a new special teams coordinator, but there's a culture with what they do and how they do it. And so, I mean, what I see on tape, I see a lot of. You know, we've got years of videotape, whether it's against us or anybody else, that we've scoured through and got, thick books that big of really what we're looking at here. It's not a 1-game breakdown. It's not a 5-game breakdown. It's a 3-year study going on here for this game.
How would you describe your relationship with James Franklin?
We vacation together. We do. I mean, James is a great guy. Again, we go on the Nike trip every year, and I would call that a vacation, wouldn't you, Billy? I mean, so we do vacation and then socialize. But, you know, when it's a game day, it's game day. It's game week, it's game week. And we vacation together.
I mean, there are something. I mean, you know, you get your center the other day talking about after the game, because we did ask him about Penn State, just in case.
You did?
Just in case he wasn't available, and he mentioned like I wouldn't have gone there even if they had offered me a scholarship, and I don't like those guys. I mean, you're the leader of this program. They were considered as a rival. Is there? You have to draw a line between like your professional colleagues with James, but you know, on Saturday at noon. I mean, is it going to be like seeing red when you look over on the other sideline?
I don't know. What was the final part of that question? See red, did you say?
Sort of way that, I mean, you don't have to sound like, hey, we're buddies. It seems to play in contrast with maybe how it's viewed at large.
I don't know how to answer. I mean, game day, you know, again, Frank Solich is a hell of a guy. Okay, excuse my language. He's a great guy, but, you know, we shake hands, we talk for a few minutes before the game, and then, you know, the fight is on. You know, and after the game, I'm saying you guys got a great football team. Give him a hug, and you like the guy, and that's kind of what it is. I mean, that's what I think that's called. You know, what college sports is. There's the competition part of it, and there's a sportsman part of it. And you know, I feel like the University of Pittsburgh, our program is going to be a classy program, and we're going to play with class and act classy. That's who we are.
You guys have kind of made some comments back and forth over the years.
Who has?
You and James Franklin, maybe a little.
I don't know if
But does that make
I'd be on vacation. Maybe that's about it.
Does that make it like any more personal, like a more personal stake in wanting to get the win for you?
You know, I'm not sure what, you know, conversations you're talking about, to be honest with you, but, you know, I don't.
I think that a couple years ago after
I'm getting old.
getting the Pitt win was just like beating Akron.
I didn't say that.
No, he said that.
Oh, I'd say
and
that.
Then,
I can't speak for him. I'll speak for me, I guess. So.
How about preparation for, in that environment, communication preparation? This is going to be, you know, loud.
Yeah, Larry. I mean, you know, it obviously when our offense is on the field, you know, we'll be in silent count, you know, using different signals to get the ball snapped, and something that, you know, our offense is not prepared for this year yet. However, Saturday we'll have to deal with the noise. That'll be part of our cadence. That's why those illegal procedures are out of our, you know, we got them all done this week. So obviously there'll be a major focus on that. If we had 0, we'd probably had 5 this weekend. So I'm kind of fired up that we were able to get a win, have 5 problems, and there'll be a, you know, concerted effort to make sure that doesn't happen. But noise will be, you know, critical. We know that when our offense is on the field, we'll have that issue to deal with. So that'll be something that we'll deal with for sure.
You have Vincent Davis listed as a starter this week. Obviously played a good bit.
You said I do have him listed as a starter?
Co-starter.
Oh.
3 oars.
Oh, I didn't sound like starter. What?
One more and you got it going. What has he done as a true freshman to earn that opportunity first? And then what have you seen out of him in this game action that wants you to keep giving him the ball?
You know, again, A.J. Davis, it's the Davis twins, I guess, but, you know, right now, but, you know, A.J. Davis has done a nice job. And then, you know, Vince is a young kid that, you know I'm glad we put him at the end of that Virginia game just to see how he'd react, what he'd do. I mean, if he'd have fumbled the ball in those last 2 snaps, you know, he might have played it all the other day. We'd have been like, he's out, give him the hook. But he's mature, he's loose, he doesn't play tight, he doesn't get nervous, he doesn't trip and fall down. And that's what I've seen in camp when we gave him opportunities to run in there with the ones. That's kind of, we didn't get a chance to play him earlier in that Virginia game. Maybe we made a mistake. You know, sometimes that happens, but, you know, it's a big game and you don't want to put a freshman out there. So you just may see him do a few other things this week too. But he's kind of a gamer. But he's also a practice player. So we've been very, very impressed with Vince in that respect.
How big of a challenge is it going to be for Nolan and Carter going up against Gross Matos, Tony, Away, kind of those?
Yeah, it'll be a challenge. It'll be a challenge for all those guys, but it's going to be a challenge for our backs to make sure we get chips on Tony because we know he's blazing fast. And Matos is a big physical guy that's got 3 sacks. So, I mean, those guys are, you know, and then they're good inside too. So don't forget, I mean, their front 7 is as good as you're going to see in the country. You know, I have no doubts about that. They've managed to stay healthy. That's part of it, and they're good football players.
As good as a Clemson.
So those 2 defensive ends are pretty talented. So, again, when I say as good as anybody in the country, I'm talking top 10. They got a front seven. I wouldn't say are they the best. I mean, who knows? I mean, Michael Jordan, who's the best? Who knows?
Yeah, Kenny talked about wanting to finish drives with touchdowns instead of field goal attempts. When you look back at the film, is it discernible? Can you break down kind of where you fell flat in those areas? And how much more of a challenge is that when you go on the road to Penn State trying to finish?
Obviously, it's always a challenge. I mean, touchdowns aren't easy. Everybody likes touchdowns. We haven't had a lot scoring against us. Everybody would like them. But, the long drives are hard. We got to give ourselves, some shorter fields offensively, which is something the defense and special teams can help with field position. But we'd all like to finish them with drives. The important thing is not going 3 and out and moving those drives. But again, what are the issues and why are they? Why are we not finishing? It comes down to execution and a little bit of focus on details. I mean, even the first play of the game, and we give up a sack. The only sack of the day is on the first play of the game, on a blitz that we've seen 952 times, and the only reason it's a sack because the protection it's walled up. Everybody thinks, O-line, what happened on that first play, right, Jerry? Like there's a sack. It's the O-line's fault, right? Or the running back, or the tight end. We run a wrong route. And if you run a wrong route, you're not where you're supposed to be, and two guys are standing next to each other. Kenny's, where's my guy at? So that's not on the O-line. It's like so every play, it's something, whether it's a, legal procedure, it's a, missed route, it's a block, whatever it may be. Those are the things, that's why we work every day. Good question.
What would you like your offense identity to be? Your running team?
Explosive, run or pass, don't care. But we obviously like to run I want to run the football. And again, Saturday we were able to do it. Yeah, did we run better? Oh yeah. Did we run it as good as we can? No. Did we run it as good on 4th and 1? No. But that's sometimes play selection, whatever it may be. And those are all, again, it's coaches, it's players, it's a little bit of both. But it's kind of odd. I think they got lined up wrong.
What do you feel the athleticism of your linebackers? I think 7 of them got in the other day. I mean, do you feel comfortable going that deep with linebacker?
7, 6, 5. I really feel comfortable. Phil Campbell and Cam Bright are the same dude. They're both really good. They both played very well Saturday. Excited there. And in the boundary, Kylan Johnson's been, he's been probably the most consistent linebacker. He's really been the most consistent linebacker. Very been impressed with him. And again, I hope everybody learns from that. I mean, if you want to learn one thing, just practice and play the same way. If you practice like this on the game days, what he doesn't surprise me because that's how he practices every day. So he's been very mature, locked into what we're doing. And then the mic position's been a little bit of an up and down spot, which hurt us a little bit versus the run last week, I think. Whether it's some little tiny mental things that we need to do better. Again, probably some more is there, I would imagine. Our tailback in the middle there. I'm not sure what it looks like, but there's I don't know who's going to start that position this week. It's who's running the ball well, I guess, right?
I know last year things got away from you in the second half. You guys forced the pass, I'm sure more than you wanted because they were able to spread it out a little bit. Do you feel the passing offense is more capable of sort of making them pay if they try to stack up against the run? Do you feel you guys are taking the steps necessary in the first 2 weeks to be more dynamic in that part?
I definitely do. We face some good passing teams throughout if you catch the ball and you're on the right route and you protect the quarterback, I certainly believe our pass game is better right now than it was a year ago. I don't have any question about it. As our run game is still a work in progress, I think. And I think I think there's a lot of improvement. We're able to at least work on it too, which is a nice thing when you didn't have to throw the ball 17 times in the fourth quarter. So, I think, that's helped us be able to run the football this week. And again, we got maybe some stuff that we haven't run yet either. So.
How would you assess the defensive unit kind of as a whole in the 2 weeks? Limited work last week, and for the most part, took Perkins out of the game, aside from on the ground at this.
Except for his 27-yard run, where there's what we call our stars in the backfield unblocked and could just rattle his cage. Just opportunities. Again, we don't bring it back up, would you? But golly, again, the defense has been solid. But you know what? I watch tape and it ain't good enough. To be honest with you, we still got ways to go. And there's some details that aren't good enough right now. That's why I say the improvement from week 2 to week 3 can be better than what it is. It really could. I'm not just giving you coach talk. It really could be. I mean, it's like some details. I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, why is he doing that? And things happen when the lights go on. I think every game we're going to get a little bit better. I just see there's enough things that we need to clean up on both sides of the football and really in the special teams. I mean, we had 2 holding calls on Rangers or our punt return team. And it's like, we get a return back to whatever inside the 20-yard line and we get it called back. We get a bad spot, whatever it may be. But
Going back and looking at the film from Ohio, how would you kind of?
I was watching some, Iowa tape. How'd you know? You've been peeking around Penn State, Iowa. Good game to watch.
Yeah. Sorry, I lost the train of thought. The defensive front, I guess you lose Rashad Weaver before the season, then Keyshawn last week.
You want to remind me of that too, right?
Are you, kind of impressed with the way that the front 4 has responded through 2 weeks losing to those guys?
Yeah and no. It's not what it was, but it's building into something. Devin Dangerson, I was real impressed with how he played. I think it'll get better. We got some young guys in there that are just playing their first games. I think that's something you have to look at, and it's not what we wanted to be. It's not where we wanted to be, but Coach Partridge done a nice job, and we'll just continue to get better every week. I think with those young guys playing for us.
Speaking of guys, Pat, I know Carter and Wheeler both came out of the game Saturday. Is there any update?
Jerry Jr. You kind of look like him a little bit. You sit in that same seat, like I can't tell who I'm talking to.
Much smarter than you.
No update. I guess that's.
So they're not out for the year yet?
They're not out for the year, exactly. Not even close.
Speaking of reminding you of things, you said on Saturday, you explained why you took 4th and 1 over 3rd.
Yeah, and go back and look at that. Again, it's just you listen, you listen to your staff, and you feel pretty good about what you're going to do. You kind of look at what you want to do short yardage wise. Do you really want to be 3rd and 5, or you want to be 4th and 1, 1.5? Maybe it was a little longer than we thought. We thought it was going to be a 4th and 1. It was still 4th and 1.5. But flip a coin. You can do whatever you want to do. We thought we had a pretty good opportunity on 4th and 1 to get a play. We had a play we liked, we thought, and that play wasn't good as you thought it was. So bad decision. But the great thing is we put our defense in a tough position, and they held. And I think you take risks. There's high risk, high reward when you do that. But obviously we had some faith in our defense, but I don't want to do it to them all the time. So. Yeah, you could say it's a bad decision. I'll take it. My fault. That's why, every week there's stuff you make a decision, and, I'd say 1 out of 10 times, 1 out of 7 times you might make that decision based on what the game is and who you're playing it. 3rd and 5, we take a sack. It's like, hey, why didn't you take the 4th and 1, coach? That was dumb. So I don't know.
We trying to pump up your offensive line a little bit to show them you have some trust in them? Get that guard?
It wasn't really, but I thought we'd be pretty good on 4th and 1. So I don't want to pump them up. I hope they're already pumped up.
Pat, when you look big picture, conference-wise, you look at there were only 2 teams in the poll this week, which was obviously Clemson was number 1. And if somebody was in at 25.
You don't even know.
Virginia, okay. Thank you, EJ. It's my poll. I don't even know who's 25. Is that just a testament to Clemson's excellence, or is it maybe a sign that the conference just can't quite, has trouble keeping pace?
I look at that, I shouldn't say, look at it. I haven't even looked at it. I could have told you who was in it or who was out of it. So I haven't looked at it. I used to look at it a year ago, and I'll have to vote this year, which I'm thankful for. That's another pain in my tail on Sunday morning. But, the conference is good. At the end of the year, let's find out where we are. All these preseason, sometimes you look at it and go, preseason, like, why? It doesn't matter where you are preseason, where you are, or later on, but doesn't really matter. Don't look at it.